Welcome back, folks, to another Canadian Highlights with Massabesic Gold and Silver. This week I have an exquisite Canadian banknote for you, specifically a chartered banknote, so I hope you stick around for that. I am Dean with Massabesic Gold and Silver. Thank you so much for stopping in and checking out my channel. Out of all of the channels on YouTube, you decide to see what I have to offer, which makes me extremely happy, and I hope you put lots in the comments letting me know what you think of this video and other videos I have produced. First things first, what is a chartered bank? Well, here we go. In Canada, they have these beautiful, beautiful notes produced by different banks throughout Canada. So this is not a government note. This is a chartered bank note. These are similar to U.S. nationals or U.S. obsoletes. But this is a really nice example. I do have an example here of a United States obsolete banknote. This is from the Piscataqua Exchange Bank in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. This is a really nice $3 bill. I love the vignette on this note, and it is a remainder note, but I do love having this in my collection. I also love looking at these old signatures on these old obsoletes. But like I said, these Canadian charter notes that we're going to be looking at are similar to obsolete banknotes, or perhaps maybe even closer to the U.S. national banknote. But anyway, that's a great note for another video. But here we have this beautiful Bank of Toronto $5 note from January of 1935. Really unique in a lot of ways. You have this beautiful yellow ink. You have the red ink on the serial numbers, and some really creative and unusual vignettes on this note as well. But why is the Bank of Toronto and the Dominion Bank, two chartered banks, connected in history? Well, I'll give you the reason why right now. The Dominion Bank was established in Toronto in 1869 and later amalgamated in 1955 with the Bank of Toronto to form the Toronto Dominion Bank, now active as one of the largest banks in Canada. TD Bank is well known throughout Canada and the United States. If you are a Celtics fan or a Bruins fan, you go to the TD Garden to watch them play. So yes, TD Bank is very much established today, and that's how these two different chartered notes come together in history. But let's take a look at the Dominion Bank note now. This is a beautiful $10 note. This is from 1925. That's why this is a little bit larger. As the chartered banknotes were produced in the 1930s, they reduced the size of the notes to match the government Canadian notes, which were also being made smaller or being produced smaller. But this here is just a beautiful note. You can see the 2nd of January 1925. You can see that red ink there for the serial numbers, and just some beautiful, beautiful details here. This note was produced by the Canadian Bank Note Company Limited, and you do see some details here, like the name of the bank there, written there, the Dominion Bank. That kind of design is later carried over to government notes. Specifically, if you look at the really any of the series of notes, they'll say the Bank of Canada, usually, or the Dominion of Canada, which is pretty neat. So just looking here, we're just kind of perusing the overall look here. I'll go into a little bit deeper dive here with some of these beautiful details. But I just want to talk quickly about the Dominion Bank. Its charter was obtained without difficulty, but its founders were unable to open the bank's doors to the public until February 1st, 1871. In the first year of operation, the bank opened 5 branches. For the first time in Canadian banking history, the bank decided to open a city branch in Toronto in addition to the head office. So a lot of history here around these notes. You can see here, this is the charter number 220, and then of course the 1810 is kind of the Charlton number that goes along with this banknote. So this is the cheaper of the two notes, but of the many notes, I should say, but I really love it, especially the reverse here with the symbol of Canada, or one of the many symbols of Canada, the beaver. This is just so cool. I want to show you so much on this note because there's just so many details that you can see here. There's a lot of color on this note as well. Little hints of color that you don't really pick up unless you get really close. Also, you can see here again, Canadian Banknote Company Limited. But I don't know if you can see the yellows. There are a lot of yellows here, yellow ink underneath all this detail. Let me see if I can get my loop out and maybe we can get a little bit closer here because it just really is beautiful. And I want to take a close look at the details anyway, because let's be honest, I'm probably the only one on YouTube that is showing you this note or a note like this close. I doubt anyone else has ever shown this note on YouTube because people probably aren't that interested. But look at this. You can see all of that yellow ink there. I can't tell if it was the first printing of this note or not, but you can see here all that yellow ink seems to be underneath the green and the black ink. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's how it looks like to me. But again, I'm very, I can't really tell truthfully. But all of this detail is amazing. Like, look at all that galeche. It's just, wow, it's just so cool, the detail. I could only imagine how many hours the engravers had to work on these plates for these notes. These just are so cool. And then the detail here of the beaver is amazing. I just, it's just truly fantastic. The level of detail that they put in. Let's take a closer look here of all of this. Look at this. All of this would have been engraved. This is just amazing. Look at the whiskers, just the little mouth of the beaver, the eye, every single little thing. He's gnawing on that piece of wood there. It's just amazing. You got the beaver tail in the water, just the little details. Just makes it look so cool. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to add this note to my collection. Also about the detail of this note, which I think is really cool, is this round kind of circle or detail around the beaver. It's very reminiscent of the American 1923 $5 silver certificate, also known as the porthole, that kind of round design there around Lincoln's head. It's very cool. I kind of like that circular rather than the oval. It's just a nice detail. So I jokingly call this the beaver porthole note, but that is not what it's called. So please don't call it that. But I just like to have a little fun. And I also like to annoy my friends. So there you go. The green here just really pops. The yellow kind of behind it all is also very amazing. And I just like, look at this. It's just so cool. I just think it's amazing how they did this. The bank itself, though, amazing history. You can go back and read it, and of course it still exists today. But let's take a look at some of the details here on the face of the note. Just again, the exquisite design here. It's so intricate in so many ways. You have this very bold signature from the general manager of the bank and another bold signature from the president of the bank. You get another hint of all this yellow ink here on the face of the note, like on the reverse. I forgot to say about the reverse, the beaver is also found on many other charter banknotes, but the specific style of this beaver is found on the $50 note from the Dominion Bank as well. This symbol here, I really don't know where it falls, how it is. Some notes have them, some notes don't have that maple leaf. So if you do know, go ahead and put in the comments. Again, we have this very bold red ink for the serial number. And again, just some of that yellow ink you can see here. Let's take a closer look here of the Lion of England. Look at the detail here. Just amazing, amazing detail in this vignette. You have this lion here of England sleeping with Britannia reclined on him, looking off maybe into the future. I don't know. I'm just making that up. But she's looks very powerful there. This design, this vignette, I have not seen on any other Canadian banknote, really. It's similar to the vignettes that are found on some of the government notes later on, the allegories, that is, but really, truly beautiful. And this note here, I was able to pick up on heritage auctions. It was a decent deal. This happens to be the cheaper of the Carlton bank numbers, that is the catalog numbers. So this is one that you can really find out there, readily available there. Even in this grade, this is a nice, very fine 30 EPQ. This note cost me right around $800. For the rarer notes of the $10 notes from the Bank of, or the Dominion Bank, I should say, they can be well over $1,000, even going upwards into several thousands of dollars, depending on grade. Truly a beautiful note. I'm so glad I've been able to share it with you today. I hope that you keep coming back to watch some Canadian highlights. And of course, until we meet again, everybody, stay safe and continue to enjoy.